Greetings YouTube, welcome to Zero AD Newbie Rush. I'm Jim Kogan, and well I never, we have another midweek duel. And we are this time 1v1 on a normal size mainland map. It's the Alpine biome. I know that because there are goats here, which could mean cav possibly. As I said, it's 1v1. Let's introduce the players. Here we are in the blue in the north of the map. We have Warphase, rated 1395, playing as the Ghouls. And the Ghouls, interesting civ. In Alpha 23, they were like the Britons, but without Phase 1 slingers and no War Dog. The Britons, we know, have been possibly somewhat nerfed in Alpha 24. So where does that leave the Ghouls? Are they now weaker? They are in almost identical civs without those things that the Britons start off with, which have been cut back a bit. Why would you play as the Ghouls in Alpha 24? Some people still do, and some people are still very successful. We shall see how Warphase does as the Ghouls. Decent rating, just below the 1400s, and up against, on paper, a very, very similar ranked player. Now I'm going to have a little bit of fun trying to pronounce this. I'm going for Elwifa. That is probably absolutely nowhere near how it should be pronounced, but without somebody telling me how to pronounce it, that's my best guess. Rating 1412, playing in red, playing as the Seleucids, who I've now learnt how to pronounce properly. You would have to say the Seleucids Archer Civ, they would have to be favourites. Player with a slightly higher rating, not much in that, but I guess it's going to come down to just sheer skill and how they play the map. This is the Alpine biome. There are goats that don't run away if you send Cav to kill them and hunt them for food. And there are plentiful. They are all over the place. So possibly we will be seeing a Cav strategy, I would have thought. I'm told the Alpine biome on mainland is very good for that. But let's see how the two are shaping up. At the moment, there's nothing in the populations. 25 for Warphase, plays 26 for Elwifa. And the approaches are almost identical. It's pretty standard. We are seeing women on the berries here, 8 of them. No berry upgrade taken. Harvesting machine, I'd not seen that on the Ghouls. This is a 10% grain gather rate, but unlocked at the town phase. Interesting little bonus for the Ghouls there. We have a Cav unit that's cleaned up the chickens. It's not going to hunt at this point. No additional Cav. As we see, Elwifa has pop capped themselves at 30. It's 30 all. They're going almost identically. Let's see what we've got over here. We have 16 women next to the storehouse. No upgrades available yet for woodcutting. And first barracks going down. Let's see how Elwifa's doing. So that's quite an expansion and a lot of static people there. They've built that house and then they stood stock still. Bit of a newbie error. Maybe Elwifa is not a 1412 player that their rating says they are. Maybe they got lucky. There's more people stood static here. So is this tactical errors, or I'm very confused. Like I said, I've not seen this game. We can only judge by what we see and the ratings that we could see. Elwifa has popcat themselves again at 40, so another house needs to go down. Do they know? Interesting. They've managed to keep their populations pretty close. 35 now for Elwifa, plays 36, but he's still pop-capped. There is a house going down now. There is almost a symmetry to what they're doing. Both got 35 female citizens, and everything else is pretty much even. Looks like... that's interesting. Elwifa, the Seleucids get an extra range unit. I didn't realise that either. There we go. But fairly standard. Berry's been cleared up here. The gathering upgrade was also taken straight into farming, and up here we see farming happening for Warphase. Slightly behind with that, but there's extra berries over here, that's why. So Yeah, Warphase has done quite well there. Are either of them hunting or are they scouting? Let's have a look, see where those cavalry units are. Warphase is scouting the localized area, whereas Alifa has done something similar, but he's now heading a little bit further north. So, will those two run into each other? They're almost in a similar position. Hard to see. Oh yeah, they must have walked straight past each other. Is Warphase tracking Elweafer's cav unit, or are they running on a pre-programmed path? Interesting. I still think we might see cav in this, given the biome, but you never know. This does look like are they? Yeah, their paths are now. Oh, as we see Warphase get stuck in the scenery there. Is he tracking him back, or do they just... Is it coincidence they're heading in the same direction? Let's have a look at their development elsewhere. We'll keep an eye on the mini-map to see where those two cav units do end up. At the moment, it's 22 women on this woodline here that's almost expired. Big woodline at the start. This is where all the infantry are. It is incredibly lucky that Elweafer has not gone for a cavalry-centric approach, or this would be an enormous target. You'd have to say that is risky, leaving all those female citizens there without any kind of defence at all. Wood upgrade has now been taken. Let's have a look. So they've crossed each other's paths. It is purely scouting. What has Elweafer got here? He seems to have all of his population there, so 20 female citizens and 6 infantry there. Got a barracks, which I know Warphase has also got. And those early sort of jitters and people stood around static, that seems to be, that must have just been starting nerves or losing track. I'm not sure. But Elweafer very definitely on it now, as we see that horse got a little bit too close, and that is the first kill of the game. That was well spotted by Elweafer. It just got too close to the border, and it didn't take much. Those were Arab Javelineers. There are 5 of them there, and they made light work of that lone cavalry unit of Warphase. The question is, where is Elweafer's cav unit? Let's have a look, see where it's got to. It's all the way over here still. So he's mapping gradually, it's going round in an arc pattern. Will be interesting to see if Warphase gets his revenge. 75 plays 70, but Warphase has another 7 in production. Elweafer, remarkably, was temporarily housed again. Warphase has definitely managed his population building better, despite having the only victim of the game so far. Second barracks going down now for Elweafer. We're looking for bonuses. They've got the woodcutting upgrade as well. Nobody's taken farming yet. Let's have a look. We got more static units there. So a lot of wasted tempo by Elweafer. All of these little bits of time add up when your units are not doing anything. There's more there too. That's not very good at all. So Elweafer is noticing that these units aren't doing anything, but and again, this is lots of lost tempo, and it is manifesting itself now in a gap of 9 in terms of population. But look at this, 38 infantry for Warphase. I know it's early, and it's in reality there's not very much in it. I really don't like Elweafer's position. I think they could be in trouble later on if this carries on. It's the micromanagement that is slipping up there. It's interesting. You don't see it from players in the 1400s very often, I must admit. Warphase has started phasing up to the town phase. They've both been pretty quick. They're going at a fair old click. Warphase, to be expected, he's at 98. He decided to phase up on 9 minutes. He's hit the magic 100 before 10 minutes, so Warphase definitely knows what he's doing. Elweafer, you wouldn't say is far behind. I'd be quite happy to go along with that. What are we here? We have... Ooh, this is interesting. We are seeing some lone units. What are they doing? I don't know if that was intentional. It just seems to be, yeah. So we have, it's a watchtower. So they've built a watchtower. These are infantry javelineers. And, oh, they've been spotted, and we could get, yeah, we're getting a little exchange. So 2 victims there. It's 2-all in terms of kill-death ratio. Oifa has not phased up yet, and the yeah, there's the same javelineers that got the cav unit. They look a bit quicker to me, but is this a bit of a trap they're walking into? Oh dear. So I don't know whether I like the logic of this sort of advanced attacks with what we got there, spearmen and javelineers. There's a group of them, and there are more coming. So this looks like it is a tactic from Warphase to try and distract the opponent, cause them hassle. They're trying to take over that watchtower, which they will do, I think. Yeah, he's not going to get in there fast enough. There's a group now of, what have we got? 17. 17 blaze, a smaller amount. Let's have a look. In the red, 15. So it's a close fight. The reinforcements here, they don't want to follow them in too close. It's 5 kills all. But you have to say, Warphase is still in phase 2, and there's no sign. Well, Warphase has managed to popcap himself. Has he sorted that out? Yeah, no, 12 being produced. They're both over population of 100. But Weaver still not in a position to phase up, and somewhat distracted by this, being suckered into a conflict over here. There's nothing separating them. Question is Warphase getting phase 2 buildings while this is happening? What are we seeing? No, it's just barracks. Another barracks. Is he trying to win this early? There's no market. There's no blacksmith. What's happening down here then? Weaver seems to be getting the better of this. It's like a little exchange. I suppose you don't want houses having to be built. That's been abandoned. So I don't think Weaver needs a house at the moment. It's got plenty of population. They're both producing. Warphase is carrying this on. Weaver's still not in a position to phase up. So if anything else, this is hurting a bit. You know, it's distracting him from his game plan. He started mining, hasn't started mining. He's got woodlines on the go. They're getting a little bit stretched. Warphase hasn't started mining either. No phase 2 buildings either. So this is curious. I've never seen anybody kind of win this in phase 1 or 2 before. I can't see that being the case here. That watchtower is now firmly in Weaver's hands. There are still more infantry coming down. Is this working out for Warphase? I'm not convinced it is, and I don't understand why Weaver doesn't put a sentry tower down here to keep these guys at bay. They're just sort of adding to their numbers. Are there more coming? There are more coming. So Warphase is committed to this. He's come off slightly worse so far. It's 25 kills as well. Weaver has reached the tank phase. Both phase 2 now. 30 kills, plays 26. So Warphase still has the drop on population and infantry, but he's being killed. You know, he is losing troops. Now he will be losing this resource advantage because is he trying to flanking maneuver here? Are we gonna see them coming in on this? There's nobody over here, so maybe it's a sneaky one on the fields. I don't know. We're starting to see phase 2 buildings from Warphase, and he's sneaked in. I think he's going to capture a barracks. If that does not get garrisoned soon, it does get garrisoned. Just in the nick of time. So that isn't working, and Weaver's still out killing Warphase. So Warphase losing troops right, left and centre. 46 kills, plays 38. It's changed again. 51, 54. But Weaver's still at a disadvantage. Work on that phase 2 building has stopped. I don't know why he doesn't use these idle troops down here. These are 5 women down there. They could be building that market. That could be up by now. So Elwif are being dragged into this kind of guerrilla warfare. It doesn't suit him. More infantry coming down. This is an interesting approach by Warface, who is now starting to put down his phase 2 buildings. That is the market down. I'd be interested to see if he raids the market. He does straight away. Wood for metal. Is he planning to get everything done? He's got a tower down as well. And have we got a blacksmith? No, we don't have a blacksmith. Let's see how the little battle is going. It's still going on. He's feeding a dribble of infantry into this. They've always got the disadvantage, and they are. It's 86 kills, plays 67. Now, has we forgot a working wood line? He has, so he's not running out of wood. He's got nobody mining, and still got 5 idle female citizens down here. I'm still not liking Alwefa's position. He is bartering lots of food for stone, so short of a lot of essentials, but still Warface is feeding the battle here. We've got another 27 troops, 7 spearmen and 20 javelineers, and trying to build a barracks. The market has gone up, but they need to be focusing on other things. He can't just micro this battle. He's got to get development up. He has got another barracks up. Oh, we've got two sneaky ones trying to capture stuff from the side there. Interesting. They're producing the same amount. Let's see how Warface is doing as Alwefa raids the market again. So still a trickle of troops coming through. Do we have any other phase 2 buildings? He's still lacking 2 more, so no temple. Look at this. Is this an expansion that he's planning? I'm not sure. They've backed off a bit, and this is quite a considerable investment of troops here. 60 troops. And that is more infantry than Alwefa has. Am I right in thinking that's all bar 10 infantry? That is scary. So Warface has really committed to this. So far, he's been in deficit as far as kills and deaths goes, but 60 troops against 33. Just the weight of numbers, that is going to cripple Alwefa if he doesn't take cover. So they're going to have to retreat. Are they actually going to have a proper battle? Alwefa's bartering food furiously. He's got to be utilising his other troops to do stuff. All the female citizens and a handful of infantry down here are gathering wood. No other upgrades. Has he got any farming upgrades? Is he producing more food? No, still no farming upgrades. And things not going well at this end. There have been losses. It's 124 kills for Warface versus 144. Consider only 17 minutes in. Neither player in phase 2. We've had more casualties in this area than you see in often in a larger scale battle. It's quite strange. So it's an interesting game that Warface is forcing upon Alwefa. Their populations now, Alwefa's is down below 100, so is Warface, and this big army is almost gone. But the development of both players has been totally hampered by this. Is this kind of attritional fighting? I suppose because it's being fought in Alwefa's territory, Alwefa is constantly having to focus on microing this battle. He's got to keep a flow of troops coming, whereas all Warface has to do is just press button on the barracks and send more infantry down, and he's still doing that. He could really do with getting more phase 2 buildings. If he got to phase 3 first, still needs 2 entities of phase 2 building. And they pull back again. Look at the pile of bodies here. So corpses litter the interior of the base. You can see exactly where the fighting's going. Another barracks goes up. I don't really know why Alwefa needs all these barracks. I suppose he wants to try and outproduce Warface. Warface going for the aggressive move. That's a CC going on there. And is this a distraction? You obviously don't want Alwefa to know this is happening. Does Alwefa know it's there? No, he's none the wiser. So you send a lone infantryman in. Are they going to look? No, they aren't. They aren't looking beyond their observation limits. Okay, so this is the aggressive move from Warface. There is the advanced CC. And a hell of a lot of troops coming down here. Alwefa's got the population advantage and the infantry advantage at this point. I've got a question whether this was worth his time. Now, Alwefa will know that a CC has gone up. It'd be in his interest to respond and run to phase 3 at this point. Get towers up here. This is where the attack is coming in. Why has he put down towers? He knows he's going to get attacked. He's missed that opportunity because this huge amount of infantry comes rolling in. The ability of Warface to repopulate. Mind you, 20 of those somewhere in there at the back of women. So they're moving on. He's moving his operations almost wholesale down. Bit risky. I suppose he's exhausted most of the safe wood lines, so sending them here. If they get fought back, then that will be interesting. But is that a tower? No, that's another storehouse that Alwefa's trying to build. There's no point building a storehouse there. This is a contested area. You're not going to be chopping wood. You're going to be constantly fighting. You should be exploiting these. So many areas. Yeah, we can see Alwefa has expanded here. He's got idle citizens again. So Alwefa finds himself in a position where he's got the advantage in terms of numbers, both in infantry and in population. But none of what he's doing really makes tactical sense at this point compared with this aggression. At least we're seeing a strategy from Warface. It's not one that personally I would go with myself. I'd have to question it. It seems like a very, very hard way to win a battle. And oh, this could be bad. So this is mostly female citizens. They found that they're having to run away, so he's lost that wood line. And the other wood line over here, I think that's all women. It's lucky he didn't find that one. So they've had to retreat. Why are they not building towers here? I don't understand. It's almost as if well, I mean, yeah, they've gone on to mining, but there are still infantry loose and they'll be killing women. So they're going to lose the storehouse, and they're still trying to micro battle up here. What are they building there? It's a blacksmith. They're trying to build whilst fight at the same time. Every time they try and do something here, they'll be pulled over here. Is Warface any closer to going to phase 2? It's like he's not interested. It's really, really strange. Alwefa definitely wants to get to phase 3. But Warface just seems to be happy to attritionally wind him down with these, run him down with these little flash attacks. The women are idle, they're not being used. There's 3 infantry in there as well. They could be building stout defences, they could be building the blacksmith, they could be building temples, they could be doing all sorts to get them somewhere near that phase 3 mark. They could be building more barracks and absolutely churning out troops. As it is, they still need one more class of building. Why not build a tower here? I don't know. Oh, he's brought all the women out here too. So if he gets through these, then what is the point of this? I do not know what Alwefa's doing. It just seems to be suiciding his troops here. All the time, Warface is sending more infantry in. Alwefa's still got the advantage in terms of infantry and population. This is quite possibly one of the most curious games. Warface's strategy I've seen before, and there is logic behind it. Alwefa's defensive strategy, I can't see the point in this. They need to get a tower up here immediately. Otherwise, Warface, you could see it, he's just going to do the same thing again. There's no extra infantry there. There's 11, and there's more of those. So this is going to be a bloodbath here as well. Very, very, very strange. We're seeing a sentry tower. It's not even a full tower. We're finally seeing a sentry tower go up here. It's the small tower as well. So they've both built small towers. This is such a crazy, strange situation. Is anybody close to phasing up? I don't know. I'm looking for other distraction tactics as well. They're not sending any round this side. So still idle workers there. No wood line to exploit. There's one down here I suppose they could move to. There's also berries they haven't collected. And the Warrow's over here. Look at the victims. That is most of his woodcutters. We're up to 24 minutes. Weaver now is behind in population. He's still got more infantry, but being pulled from pillar to post by Warface. And to be honest, there is no need for it. There is a defensive naivety to this. There is a tower, there's nobody in it. And all the time this one is shooting back. So what is Weaver doing? That's going to be another tower going up there that's going to kill anybody trying to gather wood here. So, and all the time more infantry turning up. Yeah, I think Weaver's tactical plans have just gone out the window faced with this unusual threat. And frankly, it wasn't a serious threat. It wasn't one he couldn't fight off because he was ahead after the big fighting here. If he'd have made good his defences, I think he could be in phase 3 by now, making siege engines and about to go over and flatten Warface. I really don't understand his tactics. He has reached a position where he could phase up, just needs stone and metal. He's trading metal for food, so it probably won't be long. He is pop capped at 176, so that's pretty poor. It's got a whole army here, static, not doing anything. And now, now Warface has come round this flank and found all the soft targets here. This is going to be several murders. Staggering. He's still killed more than Warface. I think he's getting sick of this. He's being pulled from pillar to post and attack coming in. Now they're going to capture that tower because he's not put anybody in it. It's naive play from Weaver. Is that they've stopped trying to capture the tower. It's now, now he's let them garrison it. That is a shame. So what now? They're chasing after those guys. Is he going to phase up? No sign. Is anybody actually going to make it to phase 3 in this game? Or are we just going to see a completely attritional infantry battle? I'm intrigued. Weaver's population is low now. It's 147. So there is a big gap. Weaver still remarkably has killed 331 as opposed to 279. So he's been the much more lethal killing machine, despite leaving his entire lot of female citizens over here to be attacked. And still there is a trickle of infantry coming in from Warface. Warface has been better at building population. He's been better at microing the troops in the battle. Now Weaver's decided to go for the city phase. He's going to get there first without a doubt. His population's down to 128. So there is still hope, possibly, as another load of infantry comes in and starts killing the women over here. Weaver's in trouble now. His population's half that of Warface. I got a feeling that Weaver isn't going to see this through. He's got no infantry, only 8 infantry left. I think he's going to resign. I think this is now a considerable advantage. There he goes. Alwefa quits. That is quite possibly the weirdest, the weirdest midweek duel we've ever seen on the channel. I'm sure these games happen quite a lot, but yeah. Let's break that down. So first of all, in terms of scores, military score, Alwefa outscored Warface by that virtue of killing more people. But economy score much greater, and overall score 10,703. He plays 9,253. If we look at the kill-death ratio, Alwefa actually had a positive kill-death ratio. If we look at the units raised, Warface was much better at producing units. He produced over 100 more. His losses were more or less the same. There's about 20 in it there. But in terms of controlling, actually developing, it's such a weird one. Warface definitely seemed to be in control. He had that plan, and it was one of annoyance and flanking and popping up where Alwefa didn't want him to be. And Alwefa's, his micro just went through the floor, basically. He could not keep hold of, couldn't keep all of his units active, could not build what he wanted. Let's have a look at their populations a minute, see how they fluctuated. So there was nothing in it. Warface was definitely ahead. He swung it up there. That was their first kind of coming together. That was their second. And yeah, you could see after that, we've actually got ahead. And then it all went horribly wrong at the end. Very, very strange. So games submitted by Warface. Now, Warface won that match, and I think he dealt with it well. Were the things that he was doing, were they completely undefendable? No, they were not. Strategically placed towers, maybe a wall even, just to influence the way the troops would come in, I think would have basically put Warface down. I think if Alwefa had been multitasking, if he'd have been making phase 2 structures, even take his farmers off to build the market and then go back to farming, whilst controlling the fight at the top, I think he could have worked in parallel, could have got to phase 3 a good 10 minutes before he actually did, and could have been upgrading. Nobody built the blacksmith and was upgrading. I find that really curious. We've a lot of naiveties in his playing, especially leaving idle troops and getting pop capped. Warface probably worthy of a higher rating. Alwefa, I think, is at best in the the low 1300s, maybe even just the high 1200s. Warface definitely had that over him. Congratulations to Warface, he got the victory. The manner of it was interesting, and I think a slightly more astute player would have made mincemeat of him with some better defences. It would have been interesting to see what Warface would have done if it became clear that his, that tactic wasn't going to work for him. It did work for him in this case, and he was the worthy victor. So congratulations and thanks to Warface for submitting it. It was certainly one of the more curious ones we've seen. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary, and tutorials on 0 AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.